And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to today's presentation brought to you by the Society of Decision Professionals, which is entitled Decision Making with Competing Objectives and Unbounded Uncertainty, a Framework and Case Study. I'm delighted to introduce our moderator for today, Leslie Lippard. Leslie is Senior Director leading Portfolio Analytics at Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, a Boston-based biotech focused on therapeutics using Cerner technology, where she's building a DA group to help drug development teams make better decisions. In this role, she gets to combine three of her passions: building teams, DA, and bringing better therapies to patients. Leslie is past president of the Society of Decision Professionals. Leslie, thanks for joining us as our moderator today.
Thanks, Ava. I'm excited to introduce our speaker for today, Sigrida Reinis. Dr. Reinis is a senior associate with LANGAN Engineering in their Oakland, California office. She's been with the firm for 25 years, serving as a project engineer, senior engineer, project manager, and project engineer for redevelopment projects on brownfield properties and former solid waste landfills. Sigrida, thank you for joining us today.
All right, thank you, Leslie, and thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. It really is an honor to be invited by SDP to speak, so thank you. And I will get this rolling. All right, so thank you again. And what I'm going to present today is a methodology that I developed to essentially make decisions under uncertainty, and of course with decisions that involve competing objectives. So quick outline, or just to set the context, the original context for developing this framework was I've been involved in essentially practicing environmental engineering since very nearly the beginning of my career, but I also always had a foot in the construction management world. And so this methodology is a reflection of my attempts over my career to meld the worlds of construction management and environmental remediation. The photo I included here is from a project of ours where things just went terribly wrong. Someone decided to try to do an excavation on the beach in the ocean, and it did not go terribly well. But that hopefully we avoid those things most of the time. So to set the stage for this methodology, in the environmental world, there's a process called CERCLA, and it dates back to the inception of Superfund. And in that realm, when decisions are being made to clean up a site that's been contaminated, one is meant to apply what are called the 9 criteria for remedy evaluation and selection. And if you read through the details, there are 2 so-called screening criteria, 5 balancing criteria, and 2 acceptance criteria. So the 2 screening ones, the way that they're supposed to work is if the alternative you're looking at, this is in the context of a feasibility study, don't make it through those 2, if you will, gating criteria, you're supposed to reject them. And then you take a deeper dive into what are called the 5 balancing criteria. And then if you as kind of a sort of a last thing, you're supposed to look at acceptance, which is community and regulatory acceptance, which is kind of an interesting way to look at that. So what I did was to really focus on the balancing criteria, and those 5 criteria, a couple of them are just simple yes or no answers. Presumably, if you answer no, that alternative goes way down to the bottom of the list. But what they boil down to is essentially what's common in construction, which is cost, schedule, and performance. And the details of this methodology can be found in my dissertation. There's a reference at the bottom.